So we're getting back to the hotel. It's a little bit late here. It's at 11:30. Kids are going to bed. Um, a decent day, but for a lot of people, not the day they'd hoped. And I'm going to give you a rundown of my take on exactly what took place the whole day. We had a couple of things we want to do. Want to do good in Ohio. Want to do good in New York. Wanted to get a good mile into Harness AM. Wanted to keep Spirit of Dio trotting. And we're hoping that Sebastian Ray would get a good trip. Didn't all work out the way we hoped. Obviously, in I'll talk about globetrotting. Obviously, we wanted to get a good line on her. We'll start the day the way it was. So Harness AM raced in the afternoon. A beaten fourth off some soft fractions. Probably should have been a winner at Philadelphia. This has happened a few times at this filly, and we've scoped her 3, maybe 4 times now, and never saw anything. So let me put it to you this way. So when you scope a horse, you go in through the nose. There's the airway, and then there's the esophagus. So you want the airway. At the top of the throat, there's the palate that flips, and you go in through the airway. You go down the airway, and you investigate. Is the palate red and bruised? Is there any signs of her flipping her palate? There was none. There never has been. Go down the throat. You're looking for, obviously, mucus. You're looking for, hopefully not, but blood. You're looking for pimples. You go down to the bottom of the throat, and at the bottom of the throat, there's a split called the bifurcation. Sometimes there's some inflammation, some redness in the bifurcation, which would lead you to believe that there's some constriction with the airflow, which would also make sense. We haven't seen any of that from Harness AM. Mucus, yes, baby stuff. Some pimples, yes, again, baby stuff. No blood, no nothing. Today we did see a little bit of blood. Now, this is important because I don't think that this filly, I think the blood was always present, but we don't go beyond that bifurcation. We don't go actually into the lungs, do we? So you can't see. The lungs are a big, big thing, and you can't see down in there. I've driven this filly. She felt like she bled. You be quiet, baby. She felt like she bled, but there was no indications that she did. So obviously, evidence outweighs your gut feeling. And then today she raced flat again, scoped her, found the blood. So I would suggest she's been bleeding a little bit for a while, and it's coming up. What you have to do is change your schedule of how you train her, what you train her like, how hard you are on her, and this kid's crazy, and then hopefully a young horse like her will bounce back. He'll be able to heal that up. You just have, now that we know it's there, change the way you train, change your regimen, and then I believe under a strict training regimen where you can work on healing her lungs up without working her too hard, I think what you'll find is a much better filly. So a little bittersweet in Philadelphia. I think we figured out why Harness AM hasn't been finishing her miles up. Now we have to treat her in a way that we can keep her from bleeding. I think we can probably do that. I'll talk to John tonight and tomorrow about that. Then we raced, we'll go track by track. Watched Vernon Downs. Now we know that last time we raced Really Blue Chip, I felt that Really Blue Chip was a little flat. I talked about it, maybe a little sick, but that leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning in a 6 or 7 hour truck ride to Batavia Downs, and I just don't think it was very conducive for her, and I think it was very explainable why she was flat. Do I think we could beat Aki's filly that beat us? No. Should have been second though. And Really Blue Chip did something that I just didn't think was very possible. She made a break leaving the gate. I have no explanation for this. Listen, I'll be honest. The difference between Really Blue Chip continuing to make good money and not should not be me. And I'm a little surprised that she made a break today. I haven't talked to Scott. I'll be talking to Scott tomorrow morning, I guess. I'm going to go out to the farm tomorrow anyway. On my way, it's half an hour out to our farm in Ohio. On my way out to Ohio, I'll call Scott. And if I don't get a hold of John tonight, I'll call John also. And get to the bottom of what he thought and what Andy said and what we're going to do next with Really Blue Chip. Unfortunate, again, we watched Knockdown Dragout make a break last week. Really Blue Chip made a break this week. They're 2-year-olds. It happens. A little frustrating, but it happens, and we'll move forward to her next start with her. What else? Then I watched Toronto. We'll get to Ohio. I guess we'll finish with somewhat the best. Went to Ohio, watched Ontario. Sebastian Ray never made a break in his life. Made a break behind the gate tonight. Now, I had said yesterday, enjoying my life, we may see a trainer change on those horses. Might happen now, and it's not going to be of my doing. I think you might see Sebastian Ray and Enjoying My Life switch to the Rod Boyd stable. I know the owners of these horses have some horses with Rod, and it is what it is. Timing is everything in this game, and good timing is great, and bad timing is really tough to take sometimes. But we're all big boys and girls, and we have to realize that the reality of this situation is that this game is tough. And there is no job security. Not mine, not Mario's, not anybody's. And, for a lot of people out there that think that Mario's not doing a good job, I just don't think they're looking close enough. And I think the expectations for a lot of these horses may have been a little inflated by the way they trained down. Perfect case in point would be Miss Brampton Beast. I think Miss Brampton Beast is a nice filly. I don't think she hit her best race the other night. I think she was green in the grassroots. I'm driving her in Georgian Downs on Tuesday, and you can be sure 8-hole or the men's bathroom on the second floor. She's going out of there Tuesday, and I'm going to race her. And we're going to see what kind of transmission that Miss Brampton Beast had. She's had enough starts now. The training wheels will be off on Tuesday for both her and Arctic Force at Georgian Downs on Tuesday. But Mario's always trying to do what's best for the horse, and I think he's done a great job. But in regards to Enjoying My Life and Sebastian Ray, I think expectations are going to overflow here, and I think there may be a change coming. But if there is, there is. If there's not, great. I'll probably drive him next week, given the opportunity. Next, we had Spirited Dio. I had our fingers crossed and holding my breath. I'm on the track racing, and I come in. I said, before we talked about the horse or anything, how'd Spirited Dio do? Got away at the back. Got away near the back. James drove her exactly how I want her driven. Get away at the back. He come a half in 56 and a bit, I think. Quarter in 28. He said, yeah, she was tired at the wire. Keep in mind, this is a filly that was sick. Both her and White Tiger come back coughing from New Jersey. Was she 100% tonight? No, she wasn't 100%. But she stayed trotting. She did her work. She finished up best she could, beat a nose for third. Thought she raced well. In Ohio, we weren't without some good and some bad here also. We watched Ailsun look terrible in her first race. She flipped her palate. Not a lot of mucus. There was some redness on her palate. It was clear she flipped it. I couldn't hear her make a noise, but I'm pretty sure I know why. This track in Scioto is tough. You look at all the fillies outside of globetrotting. Compass Rose DC was a okay second tonight and won last quarter in 32 seconds or last start. This track chews you up. It's a deep sandy track. Preemptively we made some shoeing changes on Spend That Money, which didn't help her overall tonight. And then with Ailsun, if you watch closely, she interfered quite a bit tonight. Hit her knee quite a bit, got out of gear. This affiliate is pretty good gated. Sure, she brushes at her knees a bit, but she doesn't hit them. She spun one knee boot around, hit the other one pretty good, marked up her hind trotting boots, really struggled with the course tonight. And the problem with that is, coming out of the gate, she's stressed out. She can't trot properly. And because of that stress, I think that is why she flipped her palate and looked poor. We're going back to Northfield, our next start. Few little changes for Northfield, I think, are for the better. And we're going to make some dramatic changes for her next start in Scioto. Now, we're obviously looking for the consolation for Ailsun. $75,000, I think they go for later in the fall. We're going to keep an eye on the points. We are probably going to race her in the Buckeye our next start, maybe even hit a fair with her. We're going to keep an eye on we can race in both the consolation and the Buckeye final if it works out that way. So we're now going to switch her into the Buckeye our next start. Her last start, we want to make sure we make the consolation of the Sire Stakes. So we're going to have a little bit of a points race. We don't need too many. We need just enough to get into the consolation with her. And if we're lucky enough to do that and race in the Buckeye final, we're allowed to do that also. So that's where we're at with Ailsun. We know what the problem was tonight. It's not going to be an easy problem to alleviate. Her hitting her knees and getting out of gear. Sure, we can make some changes, but and do a little vet work to her and get her better. But it's an issue, and it was an issue tonight. Not one that she can't overcome, but one that's going to take some work to overcome. Then we come out in the second leg, Compass Rose DC. I had somebody say, "Well, why'd you let that guy in the 2-hole at the half?" One, she was out of gear in the first turn and coming out of the first turn. Two, I'm watching them go at it up front, and I hear the guy in the rail say to Brett Miller, "Get in the hole." Now, Brett doesn't take well to being bullied, and I saw him look at the guy. He looked behind him. I could have filled the hole on him, but I knew what was going to happen. I know the guy in the front end. The horse doesn't look as good. She can't do what he's asking her to do. He's going to park Brett. Brett's going to clear. The horses I'm really worried about are behind me. They're going to fill up the outer flow, and I'm going to spit out the back, down the back stretch. So I said, if I let Brett in, one of two things. I can move Compass Rose DC, who I think can pound this guy down the back stretch. But as soon as I let Brett in, here comes Tyler Smith. Behind him is Aaron. Now I'm not really liking my spot, but still, Brett looks like he's staying close. The guy in the front end he's exposed. He's vulnerable. So I just have to find my way out. I found my way out in the last turn. She got running in. She got all out of gear. She touched herself too. I told you, this track's mean for some horses. And then when I cut her loose coming out of the turn, she wasn't as strong as she usually is. But again, for those of you that didn't know, coming into tonight's races, there's some nice hair on me. Coming into tonight's races, the horses were sick. Ale Sun Scope, terrible. Spend That Money, terrible. Compass Rose DC was a little bit full, and even Globetrotting had some mucus in her last start. We had a little over 2 full weeks. I told Jason, last year we had the same problem, remember? Osopine, we trained them up. We ended up putting them on Lasix. I don't want that to happen again. So I said to Jason, have them sound and have them healthy going into tonight. I'll take care of the rest. Now, we'll finish off Compass Rose. She finished off a little weak. Finished second. I thought she could have got up and won, but she raced good. Anybody complaining that Compass Rose has 50,000 on her card right now should remember that Compass Rose DC has 50,000 on her card right now. I thought she raced tremendous tonight. Then I raced Globetrotting. I've told everybody Globetrotting's a pretty strong filly. If you watch closely to the commentary I make, Globetrotting, in my mind, is one of the best horses I've ever trained. We've had some good horses. We had White Tiger, Lawmaker, a whole plethora of yes, West 52nd. Good horses. Not world champions, but good horses. Globetrotting reminds me, makes me feel like she's one of the best horses we've ever trained. Last week, the mile she went was incredible. And just timid, not making a break because she's stupid or ignorant, just timid, just green baby stuff. I looked at the program. I wanted to follow just horses out, one that could leave a little bit, two wouldn't make breaks. 5 and 6 fit the bill. Leave the other ones alone. I just want to get away from the gate in one piece and not get her jammed up. I knew the 9 would be leaving. I was okay to drop in 3rd or 4th. There wasn't going to be a hole materialize. I just kept trucking. Put her on the front. I knew at the quarter pole there was no possible way they were going to beat her. She was, to say she was good is a gross under. You look at the whole race card. She might be the best 2-year-old in Ohio, let alone filly or colt. And Spend That Money's a nice filly. We'll get back to her. I know there's a lot of people down in the dumps about Spend That Money. We'll talk about her in a minute. But Globetrotting, she's a special filly, and the mile she went tonight was incredible. And the thing I love about this filly is she isn't just nice. She doesn't just look nice. She doesn't just trot nice. She doesn't just bred good. She loves to beat the shit out of horses. She loves to beat them up and make them like it. And I love that about her. She came to play tonight. I get left alone, and she beat them up. And kind of ruined it for Spend That Money because I saw how good Globetrotting was, and I'm like, maybe this 2 weeks off and not so much training's great. Maybe this is exactly what we needed. Now, leaving the gate with Spend That Money, I look left. I either keep going to the front or I get away 7th or 8th. Keep in mind, I just drove Globetrotting. She was awesome. I don't want to get away 7th with Spend That Money. I move over to the front. As soon as I get to the front, I said, geez, I felt like I worked real hard to get there. 28-1 pop up or 28-2. I tap the brakes hard because I know all the favorites. The 2 in behind me, and that's the problem. The ones that are sitting 2nd and 3rd, inconsequential in my mind. They're not good horses. The other one's coming. I know that Dan Creighton's filly's going to be coming. I know that Aaron Merriman's going to be coming. I hit the brakes hard. Dan Creighton drives to the front. I go to start her back up. I can't even fill the 2-hole. This is important. Last time we raced Spend That Money, I'd said she wears flip-flops on her front feet. The track is so deep here, and I'd said to James after, I said, I just don't think this filly is going to be able to race through Scioto with flip-flops. But we can't train her hard enough to see how good she is without them. So we had to hope. She felt okay, but if you watch her in the second turn, she really leans in. She didn't do that before. She just got in a little bit. Obviously, the right front foot and knee bothers her a little bit, and without those flip-flops on, that added support might have been just a little too taxing for her. Now, what we gave away in grab, we lost in stability, and it bothered her. Last turn, she was running in a bit, and she slowed up getting into the last turn a bit. You know, she tried as hard as she could. Spend That Money's beat a length for third, a nose for fourth. Now, she was beat fair and square and didn't finish up very well, but look at the entire race card. A lot of these younger horses really struggled through this track. Globetrotting's a big, strong filly and could probably take less of a workload and still show up. Spend That Money can't. I think she's a filly you need on her toes. You need her healthy. She's scoped better, tiny bit of mucus, not really a whole lot of problems. The issue, I think, was mechanical. Running in, lost a lot of her velocity in the turns, got taxed leaving out of the gate, and was not 100% tight coming in. I'm okay with that. Not in hindsight, I'm not. But at the time, I think we still did the right thing. Now we go back to Northfield. We can put her gear back to the way we had her. We can work on keep getting her tight. We can work on getting her a little bit sharper and sounder coming in. And I think you'll see the old Spend That Money in Northfield. Problem we have is the last start is back in Scioto. We're going to have to put our thinking caps on and figure out a better way for this filly to get over this track. I got a few ideas. I think we can probably help her. But we're going to focus on Northfield next week. So I think how good Globetrotting raced kind of spoiled it a little bit for Spend That Money. But in hindsight, looking at the way when I looked left, hit pause, I got the front, I got the back. There's no parking in the middle. So I don't regret how we drove her. I came here to race. We're racing for $42,000. I raced her. She'll bounce back. So Spend That Money on the 14th, 2 more weeks. We got to work on continuing to clean her up, get her healthy. Lots of time out in the grass, train her up hard 4 or 5 days out, switch her gear back to the way it was, hopefully find a favorable field, and I think you'll see the old Spend That Money show up. So overall, we had one of the most impressive trips you could ask for from Globetrotting. A flat mile, but a fifth for Spend That Money. A poor mile for Ale Sun, flipped her pallet, hitting herself. We need to get her out of that. Compass Rose DC, pretty good. Pretty good race tonight. Philadelphia, Harness AM race good, but most importantly, we got to the bottom of what was bothering her and ailing her. We can help fix that. Spirit of Dio raced well for being a little bit short, off a little bit, coming off the virus. 58 and a piece, last half 56. Pretty sure there's nothing wrong with that. I was happy. Very disappointed with Sebastian Ray because I'm concerned what the outcome's going to be. Really blue chip, very depressing in a number of ways. I'm going to talk to Scott, but this is an added workload that I wasn't ready for. And I'm flying by the seat of my pants out here, flying to Ohio, driving to Ohio, flying to Pennsylvania, going here, going there. Oh, by the way, can you fix Havana Unana, who races in Indiana? Can you go drive Really Blue Chip, who's racing in New York? I don't mind the workload, but it's taxing and frustrating. I mean, Really Blue Chip should be kind of push button by now. This is a filly I crossed over in front of everybody like that in Batavia, Yonkers, Buffalo. And it's not like she struggles that bad in the straightaways. I'm very perplexed over what took place today and a little frustrated. I'll talk to Scott and get to the bottom of it. And that was about it. I mean, overall, a pretty decent day. We had a pretty good day, and I say it because I know that there's a lot of people out there that are Spend That Money clients. Are like, somebody actually sent me a message the other day and said, "Can we give her to Ron Burke?" Just so you know, we beat the shit out of Ron Burke tonight with other horses. Ron's a great trainer, but Jason's doing a good job here too, and I don't take offense to that. I know I take both sides right into account. I know everybody just wants what's best for the filly and just wants to do the best they can. And I know that Jason does a good job because Jason's my trainer. So we know what the weaknesses is right now. We know with really blue chip, I'm pretty sure it's mechanical and it needs to be worked on. I'm pretty sure with Ailsun, we know how to fix that. I'm pretty sure we can spend that money. Compass Rose and Globetrotting were good. Spirit of Dio was good. Sebastian Ray, rare break for him. And then Harness AM, we know what the problem is with her now. So although it wasn't a fantastic day, it was an enlightening day, and we'll get to the bottom of everything that's going wrong. I don't think anything happened today. We're like, Jesus, this sucks. I don't think we're to that point yet. I think we're in a decent position, a decent place, and we can work our way out of it. So a good day all around. Kids are tired. We got to go to Legoland today. Tomorrow we're going to the farm in the morning early. Then we're going to the movies, going to see Lion King, and then we're going to the Athens Fair. And then Saturday night we get the big boys are out, coming off the virus. First start on Lasix for Yes. I think there might be some fireworks tomorrow on Saturday night. And then I'm back Sunday for Georgian. I'm super excited. Monday's the first start for Elysium Lindy at Mohawk. He's in really tough. They said, no, we got a good class for him. I think your idea of good class and my idea of good class, the idea of a good class for him for me would be one he could win. The idea of a good class for him for the race office is a whole bunch of really good horses he has to race against. A little disappointed over that. But it was either race White Tiger and him together or roll the dice. I didn't want White Tiger at Toronto being off 2 weeks. He's going to race in the non-winners of 70 or non-winners of 7. No thanks. We're going to race him in the preferred 2 at Georgian Downs. Drew the rail. I wish we didn't have the rail, but whatever. He drew the rail on Tuesday night. I'm going to cut Arctic loose. Arctic Force loose. I'm going to cut Miss Brampton Beast loose. And then we also have Sunshine in a condition claimer. Sunday night we got Maintenance Man. I got a bunch of horses in Sunday and Tuesday. Monday, you know where I'm going to be Monday. Nope, James can drive Elysium Lindy. I'm going to drive 4.5 hours to Northfield Park to drive Havana Ooh Na Na. First start for Jason McGinnis. And then Gold Cup week is coming. Pennsylvania on Thursday, Philadelphia. It's going to be hectic. But it's great. I love it. So I'm here with my family having a great weekend. What day is it today? Great week. Going to have a great week leading into the weekend. And then I'm back on Sunday night. Talk to you guys soon. Hope you're having a good week. Take care.